Oh shit. I thought I had this fixed. All right. Here we go. Welcome to the breakdown episode. Episode 656. 656 episodes, man. A lot of people don't get past like 10 episodes. A lot of people don't get past 10 episodes. And here I am, 656 official episodes of the breakdown. Unofficial into the thousands. Easy. Easy. I really have to count this up, man. I really do have to count it up. I think it's like 1100, 1200 episodes of this, then the previous live show, which is the same thing. It was essentially the same thing. Anyway, welcome Wednesday, January 28th, 2028. Happy to see all you guys. Well, I don't actually see you guys, but I'm happy that you guys are joining here today. So we can go ahead and chop it up and talk about shit that's happening in the world today. Shout out to the people joining in on, oh, look at this. I forgot to change everything, man. Hold on one second. I forgot to change every single thing here, man. Give me a second, man. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Look at this. I'm doing this on the fly. Who wants to produce my show? Who wants to produce my show? What the hell happened? Ah! Time to get a producer. It is time to get a producer. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Actually, where the fuck am I going? Where the fuck am I going? Where am I going? Everybody's like, what the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is this guy doing? Okay, there we go. All right. I'm feeling better now. Feeling better now. Okay, now we're here. You know what? Shit, I haven't retweeted the goddamn live show in a while. Should go ahead and do that, right? That would be a good thing to do. That would be a tremendous thing to do, is to retweet. Retweet the show. Guys, if you're on X, retweet the show. If you're on TikTok, share the show. While I'm like doing shit on the fly, should have been more prepared. I apologize. Absolutely nobody. I'm just kidding. All right. We got 2 guests coming on to the show today. Keith, and we have Adam. Adam from OpenSea. Keith is a really bright, intelligent young guy, man. We're going to talk about the markets with him. Again, shout out to TikTok and shout out to X, but also we're still trying to figure out how to get this whole Facebook shit aligned. I really want to go ahead and talk to Dave Ramsey's crowd here. I'm really trying to talk to Dave Ramsey's crowd. All right, slowly but surely we are getting somewhere on TikTok. Well, finally, I don't know if I'm still kind of like fucking suspended or some shit on there for bringing on. It was because of Tommy Robinson. It really was. I think it was because of him. But it's fine because these topics, stop censoring people, man. Let people fucking talk. Let us talk. Let both sides talk. I don't really give a shit. Shout out to Tommy Robinson. All right, let's catch up on today's news. Stop censoring, man. And you say Jews run the world, man. You say Jews run the world, and look at me. Look at me. You literally say Jews run the world. Look at me. Look at me. I get shadow banned and fucking suspended from all over the place. And y'all out here talking about Jews run the world. Please, by all means. Yo. I love when people say, oh, you're paid by Israel. Motherfucker, tell me where I need to send this invoice. Tell me where I need to send this invoice. I will send out this invoice immediately. Immediately. Anyway. Macro and policy, big picture movers. Okay. Yo, do people... before I continue, do people come here to actually watch the show? To watch me talk and break down crypto, finance, politics? Or do you come here to like look at my numbers? Like, what are you, consensus? US consensus here for fucking live shows? For podcast numbers? What are we doing here? ML comes into my goddamn room on... and this from the Twitter side, and goes small crowd on X today. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if there's one person here, 2, 15, 137. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'll talk to myself. I'll put a mirror in front of myself and talk to myself. I'd rather talk to a highly intelligent person. So why not put a mirror in front of myself? Greetings. All right. Macro policy, big picture movers. US dollar rolling over after Trump's comments. The US dollar slumped sharply to a 4-year low earlier today after President Trump's dismissed concerns over the currency's weakness, saying that the dollar is doing great. But when the Treasury Secretary came out earlier today, the dollar kind of rose. I think it went up by like 1% or 0.9%. I don't know, something like that. Went up. But the dollar is great. The dollar will make a comeback. I'm not even worried about. Damn, my hair looks so good today, man. Damn. The US dollar. Oh, hold on. I already read that. This triggered broader currency moves. The euro jumped about $1.20, and the Australian dollar hit a 3-year high, while commodities and gold surged. And gold keeps on moving with silver, man. Gold keeps on. Yo, you know Peter Schiff. I'm going to bring Peter Schiff back on, but Peter Schiff is absolutely gooning off in his goddamn bedroom. Bitcoin has lagged around 90,000. Amid this environment, hinting risk assets aren't yet following the same flight into hard assets as precious metals. That's true. Bitcoin's been hovering. Big damage was done on October 10th. Big damage has been done. The damage that was done on October 10th, 2025, Bitcoin's still recovering from it. And plus, you have people that have been holding for a long time selling. You have people that are selling that have been holding for a long time. They're selling. And they have every right to sell. They've been holding 8, 9, 10 years. Why not? Take profit. There's liquidity in the market. The previous cycles, air quote, the previous cycles didn't have so much liquidity. Now people are, taking profit. It's not a bad word, taking profit. You know what's crazy in the crypto space? That when you take profit, people say that you're a scammer. So they influence you to hold. Hold on. Time out real quick. When people take profit, they are set to be a scammer. They are told straight in their faces that they're scammers for taking profits. You must hold. Dime in hand. We all make it. We all go and make it. That's what they're told. Think about how stupid this is. This is the only industry where you can make a profit, but you are sell shamed. And that's why a lot of people round trip, because they feel like if they take profit or if they take their money out of a certain project that they put money into, they're like, oh man, I'm gonna get shamed here. Motherfucker, who cares? These people ain't paying your bills. This is why you're still holding those NFTs. This is why you're still holding dog shit from 5-6 years ago. Take profit. Don't listen to nobody. The people that say, I'm telling you right now, I've said this so many times. Replay my shows. If this is your first time joining, go replay the shows. If you've been watching, if you've been tuning in and you're a smart person and you know that, at 12 p.m. I got to tune in to DG Talk, then you know what I say. The people that tell you to hold are the people that dump on you. The people that shame you for selling are the same people that are dumping on your heads. The people that tell you that you have to have diamond hands are the same people that are unloading on your ass, okay? They're the lettuce hand motherfuckers. Don't you think for 1 second this ain't charity? Ain't charity. I'm telling you, you're not listening to me. Which one is it? It's funny when people call me a Jew, right? They'll say, look at this Jew, the Jews talking. Well, and you say the Jews control the money? Well, I'm telling you something right now. I'm giving you advice then. If the Jews control the money, then take profit. Yeah, I get that all the time, Digital Man. I'll say any comment that I say now, I'm met with. And these people don't understand. I get excited when people troll me and say bad things about me. It's like, I really do. Like, I get excited when people go ahead and say anything about me. Oh, you're bought by Israel. Oh, you're a Zionist. Oh. You side with Israel. The same people talking shit about Israel. Where is your energy for Iran and the people out there that are getting massacred right now? Where's your energy? Anyway, look. I did shift into politics. I'm bringing myself back into finance. Man, I don't really give a fuck. I don't care if you're Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Jewish. I don't care. I'm from New York City. Everything you say to me, honestly, doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't even faze me. I don't even get upset. I laugh. I really do laugh. I laugh. How are you going to offend somebody who grew up in New York City, where it's all diverse? Every single culture, every single color, religion. We grew up, I fucking grew up around everybody. How are you going to offend me? Can't offend me. Maybe I like pain. I don't know. Maybe I like pain. By the way, before I proceed and we talk about crypto and we talk about politics and we bring on guests onto the show, I started watching the show on Netflix. You guys have probably watched it. I don't watch too many shows because I'm too busy analyzing, researching, investing, on calls. But I've happened to have just a little time. And I'm watching it as I'm working out. By the way, I'm watching this as I'm working out. Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders, I gotta tell you. What a great show. I'm only on season 2. But if you want to know, like, kind of like my mindset, if you want to know my mindset, it's definitely Shelby. Thomas Shelby. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about like betting on horses and shit like that. I'm just saying, like, you put a gun to my head, like, I have no reaction. No reaction. By the way, Murphy does a great job as Thomas Shelby. I just saw 1 or 2 episodes with Tom Hardy's in it. Shout out to Tom Hardy, great actor. Him and Murphy got great chemistry. Like, off the bat, this shit is, the whole show is great. The whole show is fucking amazing. But yeah, there's 6 seasons of it. I'm only on the 2nd season. I highly recommend it. And I don't watch TV. I really don't watch TV. I don't really watch shows. I did watch Game of Thrones. The last seasons were horrible, but like the beginning part. Anyway, don't want to get carried away, right? I ain't doing show reviews and shit here. What the hell happened just now? Whole TV went black. God damn it. What happened? Hold on. Oh no, what happened just now? It's the energy, man. My energy is too wild, man. My energy is crazy. My energy shuts off the goddamn TV. Shuts off the goddamn TV. Anyway, back. By the way, you know what's really fucked up? Shout out to Trump, because Trump obviously came out with this thing where they're giving $1,000 to children that were born after December 2025, and the program ends in 2028. But here you have, kids that will be getting $1,000. Parents will be allowed to put $5,000 a year towards this retirement plan. And when these kids reach 18, they could potentially have anywhere from $180,000 to $330,000 set aside. And if they don't touch it, they can hit anywhere from $1.5 to $2.3 million. So think about this. Finance is something that has not been taught to Americans for centuries. Forget about decades, centuries. Okay? Centuries. Here's Trump. The administration has put together a phenomenal plan where these kids will be invested into the markets. Parents will be allowed to put $5,000 towards these accounts every year. This is great. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. And getting back to religion, and then I get back to crypto. I really honestly do not care where you come from. I don't care what your color is. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care. I really don't care who you decide to sleep with in your bedroom. I don't care. At the end of the day, like, I hope nothing but good things come your way. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican, independent. We can agree to disagree like adults. But this is to land it. Anything that's said to me on social media, I've been doing this for almost 10 years. Anything that is said to me doesn't bother me. You could say anything you want. I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. There comes a point when you do all this, like when you do a show like this, when you have a podcast, when you are a brand, where you just, at some point, you just don't give a fuck. You don't. And usually they say people who say that they don't give a fuck usually give a fuck. I really am telling you, I don't care. Respectfully. I wish you well, but I don't care. It doesn't faze me because I have goals, and I can't have little things, little chirps, go ahead and get me off track from accomplishing things like becoming the next president of the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen. I got big goals, man. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Federal Reserve meeting and rate outlook. Markets widely expect the Federal Reserve to hold rates steady at today's meeting, kicking off a pause in rate cuts after early easing. The pause could extend well into 2026 as inflation remains above the Fed's 2% target and the economy shows resilience. The Fed is on crack. Okay, the Fed's smoking crack, cocaine. Trump is pressuring deeper cuts, and speculation about his nominee to succeed Fed Chair Jerome Powell is rising. As Hotep Jesus would say, I don't trust. Well, by the way, this is Hotep Jesus who said this. This is not coming from me. Hotep Jesus said the following. By the way, tune in at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Hotep Jesus is on Kick with the Hotep Jesus show. Hotep Jesus would say, I do not trust a white dude with a name or with a first name, paraphrasing here, Jerome. Shout out to Hotep Jesus. Hotep Jesus did say that. Hotep Jesus said, I do not trust a white dude with a name whose name Jerome. Paraphrasing. I've never heard of a white dude named Jerome. I'm serious. I've never heard of a white dude named Jerome, man. Something suspect here. It's sus. It's sus. All right. Why this all matters in general, a Fed pause equals less liquidity tailwind for risk assets. How Powell frames inflation and labor conditions in his press conference will drive volatility. So that's why we hope that Jerome Powell is replaced soon. Maybe he resigns so we can get somebody else in here, okay, to cut rates by like 100 basis points. Not 25, not 50, 100. Okay. I'm still laughing after that Jerome Powell thing. I'm still laughing after that. By the way, if you are on TikTok, do me a favor, share this room, double tap, double click, share this room with everybody. I am sorry, respectfully, there is nobody that brings the energy like I do. And you know that. Even if you hate me, you know that. That's why you tune in and you lurk. And I can see how many people lurk. And you lurk here and you watch. And I'm glad that you are here. Even if you dislike me, I'm glad that you're here watching me as I break down the news. Thank you. Appreciate you. Your support means everything. Crypto market action, sector news. Bitcoin and Ethereum traders are in caution consolidation phase ahead of the Fed decision, with Bitcoin range bound and volumes softer than broader markets. Overall market cap is mildly positive on the day, but not leading broader risk rallies. And why this matters. Crypto isn't flashing robust risk-on behavior. Investors are watching macro drivers first. It's okay because all this gold go up and breaking all-time highs, all this silver shit, it's all going to come back to Bitcoin. It's all going to come back to crypto. I can promise you I've seen this. Seen it. Somebody said, please help Uganda. What's happening there? I have no clue what's happening there. We got somebody in here, arrest Trump. But what are we arresting Trump for today? Where did Trump touch you? Let's move on to the UK. UK crypto regulations and industry moves. The UK government is pushing banks to stop unfairly blocking FCA licensed crypto firms, aiming to make the UK a more attractive global digital asset hub. Oh my goodness. The UK wants to look attractive out here. In a separate industry hiring scoop, the UK Financial Limited appointed Bitcoin era exchange veteran Mr. Emmanuel as a strategic advisor, signaling broader institutional interest in crypto leadership. Is the UK really game? Why all this matters, by the way? Regulatory clarity, talent acquisition equals long-term ecosystem momentum, even if the price action is flat right now. So, oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Let's go with some asset innovation and new market infrastructure. Wisdom Tree is launching a full suite of tokenized funds on the Solana blockchain, a major move towards digital asset management monetization. Wow. Wow. Solana. And speaking of what you just asked, MUTM announced it crossed 19,900 investors, highlighting continued retail and mid-cap ecosystem interest. So there you go. There you go. Why all this matters, these aren't just price stories. These are structural market developments that expand crypto's utility and institutional appeal. All right. Market sentiment. You're welcome. Market sentiment. I'm answering the chat as I keep going. Market sentiment and short-term drivers, macro and Fed impact on crypto. Crypto traders are watching the Super Wednesday macro calendar. The Fed meeting and the U.S. oil data are converging to potentially create heightened volatility for Bitcoin and broader crypto markets. I've never heard crypto talked about so much, especially in traditional finance. Why all this matters? Macro catalysts can overwhelm purely crypto-centric narratives on days like today. You see how I like to break it down for people that don't understand English? You see how I like to break it down? Let's go to regulatory content. A senior White House crypto advisor described Davos 2026 as a turning point for global crypto normalization, indicating policy attention remains positive despite short-term volatility. I like volatility. Traders love volatility, by the way. Traders love volatility. The CFTC under new leadership is leaning into crypto and prediction markets, giving the industry a stronger seat at the regulatory table. Broader U.S. crypto market structure bills have circulated, showing ongoing legislation engagement through detailed timing remain, though, uncertain. And why this all matters. Regulatory clarity, even in draft form, shapes institutional confidence and long-term flows. By the way, I don't want the Clarity Act passed. Unless the Clarity Act looks like the Clarity Act that was introduced in the beginning and not have all these motherfucking changes. It's probably like 120 plus changes that have been made to the Clarity Act. I'm not interested. Not interested in handing over a manual to the goddamn banking system and institutional players. Respectfully, because I know some of them, and this is not a shot at you guys, but you are not going to leave retail behind. We're not going to go ahead and kill DeFi, and we're not going to stop people from unbanking themselves. I'm looking at myself on TikTok. And I can't flip the goddamn monitor now. God damn it. I shouldn't say God damn it, right? That's like bad when I say that, right? That's bad when I say it. Bad thing. Shout out to the moderators. I'm gonna make a few more people moderators on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to X. Shout out to the lurkers on X and shout out to the people that can't type on X. I don't know what's going on there. That's above my pay grade. All right. So we talked about a lot of stuff here in the beginning of the show. There's more things to touch on. At 12:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm joined by Keith D. We'll jump into market talk about the markets. Could be traditional, could be crypto, could be memes. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with it. I know he's in the green room eating some of the M&Ms, the expired M&Ms that have been left in the green room, and he's drinking some terrible water, some terrible bottled water. Why do you say I don't like you? I'm going to make you a moderator. Trust me, I will. I will. It's a very important time in the United States of America. Very important time. We're going to touch on. There's one piece of political talk that I want to touch on, and I'll do that by the end of the show. Towards the tail end of the show. I want to do it so badly now, but I rather than I should make everybody a moderator on TikTok. Fuck it. You guys can all ban yourselves. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 656. Why did I click on that sound effect? The show is powered by Midnight. The show is also sponsored by Gemini. Everybody on TikTok, by the way, gets absolutely scared when I say I'm about to go to commercial break because they know the Gemini commercial comes on and and there's just silence. There's no voiceover. So people start bugging out. I love seeing it. Anyway, it is 12:45 p.m. and we are joined by, he ran away, but hold on. We are going to be joined by Keith D. He probably had to use the bathroom, and that's okay. Listen, we all need to make sure that we go use the bathroom before we go live on a show like this where everybody's watching. You don't want to piss yourself while you're breaking down markets. We don't want that to happen. Absolutely not. We don't want that to happen. Anyway, let's bring in Keith. Keith, what's going on, my man?
Hello, hello, hello. How is it going, man?
You're like one of my favorite new crypto dudes on the scene, man. You're not a plant, right?
People keep calling me a plant. They keep calling me a Fed, and I find it absolutely fascinating. It's funny because that's happened to me in my personal life as well. Like people are like, they think I'm like a CIA agent or something, but I'm not. I'm also not that smart. Let's be clear.
I had the pleasure of speaking with you or being on the same podcast on Kyle's podcast, and I was looking at you the entire like, when the questions were being asked. I felt like you were holding back a little bit, respectfully.
Yeah, I think so too. I think what it was is because I'm very bearish on the market, man, and that's kind of the major thing that I was just like, I don't want to poop on this party right here, but I'm super bearish on the market and
Tell me
crypto.
why. All right, let's get into it then, because I'm telling you, I was looking and I was like, he wants to say something, he's holding back. So the floor is yours. Why are you bearish on the market? What are the things or signals that you're looking at that just absolutely have you dressed in the bear suit?
Yeah, man, I'm all the way in the bear suit. I think the major thing, man, is just looking at the charts itself. Um, when we look at the long-term opportunity of what's happening here, there's no doubt that it's there. I'm not going anywhere just because the prices are coming down. But at the end of the day, when we really look at what's happening on the charts, man, it's really, really ugly from a structural perspective. Um, One thing about crypto is that things can change on a dime, so I'm always ready to be wrong, right? But um, we've just seen this massive double top formation. We've seen huge daily moving average crossovers. And, I'm just like, from an objective perspective, this is what the beginning of a bear market typically looks like. So, any rallies that we may see in the short term that don't fully go up to take a new all time high would probably uh, be something worth. Oh, let me not say it like that. I would expect it to then turn back around lower after that, personally. But yeah.
So i- being to me, like I've been here for so long, and it's usually the same structure, the same things happen. I'm looking at this market, and I'm not confused, but there are things that are different.
Mhm.
So it's just hard to go ahead and it's just hard to say like, okay, like I've been sitting back and saying, you know what, might have been in a bear market for the last 4 to 5 years. Because if you just look at the old coins, they haven't done anything. What, 6 or 7 of them moved? The rest didn't move. I
Mhm.
mean, I'll give an example. Chainlink didn't break its all-time high.
Mhm.
Polkadot didn't do nothing. Kusama didn't do nothing. Filecoin did nothing. I mean, I can Near Protocol has done nothing. I mean, I can go down the whole list. Uh, I know there are some people in a camp where they say it's going to be, it's not going to be like the other previous cycles where everything moves together. It's going to be, you know, things like Chainlink move individually. Okay, I can respect it, but we're coming off of inflation, and again, we don't know the real numbers. I always say that we
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
know the real numbers. But if you look at numbers that are being presented, inflation's down. Rate cuts haven't been given out. Stimulus checks haven't been given out. Nothing's really. I mean, consumer credit card debt. I always say this. I feel like every show I say this. $1.27 trillion consumer credit card debt. Crazy. Subprime. Nobody's talking about subprime loans. That shit's about to hit. I don't know. It's bad. It is absolutely bad. People are not making payments on the goddamn cars. Subprime is looking ugly right now. But it's getting a lot of these other things are getting better. People are, companies are bringing back work to the United States of America. Companies are investing into the United States of America. Does it happen in quarter one? Does it happen in quarter two? Do we go parabolic in quarter three? I just feel like in 2026, we're going to see something just absolutely go ape shit. But I could be wrong, right? I'm watching the dollar hit new lows. I mean, like, go ahead, take the floor. How do you feel? We can debate this. It's okay. You can tell me I'm fucking wrong.
No, I mean, I definitely don't have a super strong opinion myself either. I think that's the thing about it. What's so conflicting for me is things are different this time, right? Like objectively, both off the charts and even on the charts, it's different this time.
Yeah.
And I as an investor, those are the deadly words at the end of the day, right? Because it's almost always not the case.
Yeah. Everybody
So
says it's not a bear.
yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of the thing that's the most conflicting for me is that, um, of course, I want to see altcoins make all-time highs. What kind of a bull market have we ever seen that not happen, right? Um, and rather we have the legislation coming through, right? That's the thing that, I mean, since I've been in the game, we've been waiting for that, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of things that are unprecedented that will probably happen at some point this year. And the question will be, will that reflect in a turnaround in the prices that we're seeing now? And the macro forces, like you're talking about. I mean, the dollar's going down. Donald Trump is cheering that on. So if the dollar can keep going down and stocks continue to make all-time highs, we just got a new all-time high in the NASDAQ. Um, is it possible that crypto continues to go lower? I mean, uh, the S&P made the all-time high.
Yeah. 7,000
Um,
points.
yeah, yeah. So is it possible that Bitcoin just can't keep up with the rest of it? I don't know, man. Um, Most of the time, right, you're going to see some sort of a rotation in a situation like this where dollar's down, everybody's buying gold and silver, and then at some point, would you eventually see things move over into crypto? I mean, The only problem that I have with the narrative is that it's just not showing up. But that's how investing works, right? It's not on the charts until it is.
I agree with you on that. Do you still believe then? Do you still believe in the 4-year cycle then?
I was actually talking to Kyle about this yesterday. Kyle Chassie, he was on my show, Memes and Markets, and he points to the fact that there never was a 4-year cycle. It was always just that it's lined up with the business cycle, right? We talked about that, I think, on his show too. And I think it's a fair way of looking at it. Um, I don't know that the one thing for sure is that nothing is going this time the way that it has before, just period, right? So whether there ever were a 4-year cycle that was just around the Bitcoin halving or not, for sure, what we're seeing now is not that, right? It's something totally different. So that's what I would say about it.
Do you think people, or do you think this ecosystem, the crypto ecosystem itself, will now reward projects that actually have a real utility to it and will have liquidity injected to it? So is it one of those things where we are seeing the crypto? I was thinking about this a few days ago. We are now seeing the crypto ecosystem reward assets that actually have utility to them and they will see liquidity injected into them. It's no longer everybody gets liquidity and we're going to hope and pray that you can deliver. Do you think that's where we're going?
What is utility to you? Like, what does that look like?
Utility to me is what Chainlink is doing.
Okay,
That's what it looks like to
it's,
me.
it's a great
I
example.
hate the word utility because it's been absolutely destroyed within the crypto ecosystem.
Mhm.
So I know when using the word community and utility, people start vomiting. But those two things are important, right? If you are creating something that's worthwhile, something tangible and stuff like that. So to me, something like Chainlink, right? They're working with Swift. That's real. And they're trying to fix Swift and make it faster. That's real. So um, even you can name XRP, right? Ripple is actually, they have a product. They are working with the banking system, whether you like them or not. Okay. I know that it's either you like Ripple or you don't. There's no middle ground here. Okay.
Right, right.
And they have XRPL and they do have partnerships, whether people want to believe it or not. Are they outside the box here? Outside of the eco? Yeah, they're outside the bubble. The only real asset within the space that's really outside the bubble and no longer here is Bitcoin because everything you hear is Bitcoin, Bitcoin, and deservingly so. But I think that I don't know what your take on that is, but I think this cycle will just reward assets that actually can do something that actually affects a real use case or has a real use case for outside the web3 ecosystem.
And that's an interesting way of putting it too, right? The difference between it being useful in Web3 or outside of Web3. One of the biggest things that I always had a little bit of an issue with is like um only valuing DeFi projects that generate revenues on chain. Because I don't know that DeFi is the only use case for cryptocurrencies, right? So if I heard some people from certain camps talking about how Sui and uh, only things that have on-chain revenues. If it's not being used, if there's no smart contracts on the platform, then it's not valuable. And how could this asset be performing better than the assets that actually have on-chain values, on-chain revenues? And I think that that's not, I think that's a myopic way of looking at what the value of these cryptocurrency projects can be. I mean, Chainlink is the perfect example. Uh, Chainlink isn't a smart contract platform, right? It's an entire ecosystem where you're actually trying to create value for smart contracts in the first place.
Yeah.
So, um, so I think that's one of the things that I really liked about what you said there. It's like outside of just Web3, is there value being created? And Chainlink plays this interesting role where it's bridging, right, from the outside world to the inside world, the data, and then also being able to get cross-chain interoperability. And if you listen to me long enough, you'll know that interoperability is by far the thing that I think is the most important when it comes to this Web3 technologies. Not only interoperability between the different chains, because that is highly important. Everyone's not going to use the same chain. But then the other part is how do we get this to connect to the real world? How do we get to where the weather data is being utilized inside of these ecosystems? And I think that's the most important thing. So, to your question though, at some point that is going to be the case. At some point, I do think 90% of the stuff goes away and won't make new all-time highs, and only the projects that really have actual use, that's not just speculation, will be the things that are important. So I think so, man. At some point.
You know what's crazy, Keith? Years ago, I said a lot of these, and there weren't as many, cryptocurrencies around. And I said a lot of these things will not exist. Like 90% of these things will go away. And only up until recently, I looked at everything that I hold. I looked at, I look at the markets every day, just like you do. And I'm looking and I'm thinking to myself, because right now, like I speak to so many people. I'll speak to you. I speak to people that I think are highly intelligent, and I'm trying to get a gauge of what everybody's thinking, and everybody's a little bit confused. Like people are certain, but then they question what they have written down in their books
Mhm.
because of obviously, okay, the institutional players are in there. They're sharks. We're goldfish. Like I always say that. Like I don't care how smart we are, they're smarter. Like they've been in the game for this is handed down to them. Okay.
Right,
Okay. This
they're the
is
decision
handed down
makers, right?
100%.
So
So to me, I'm thinking, I'm like, why am I confused? Like we're at this point where we might just be growing up, and there are certain assets that are going to get liquidity injected into them, and others, no. I think what I thought about today as I was working out, I said, you know what? The only thing that retail can hold on to is memes,
mm,
because it's the only thing that, if you think about it, it's the only thing that doesn't promise you anything. Is just the picture that makes you feel some sort of emotion, and people are going to take a chance on it because most people, when they get back into the markets, they're going into risk plays. They're not going into CD accounts and no, they're going after risk. They're going for it all, they're going to lose it all. That's just the mindset.
yeah. Yeah, and all of that is actually such an interesting phenomenon. It all kind of comes back to where we're at in the economy and how people feel like there isn't much of a way out, right?
Yeah.
You're seeing it with online gambling as well, and all these prediction markets and all this stuff where people are just really trying to find a Hail Mary to get out of the situation where they're seeing the prices of everything rise, but their wages not necessarily keeping up, or even just opportunities to get a job. A lot of young people coming out of college today are like, I don't even know if I can really find a job that's in alignment with the level of credentials that I've now gained. And so you turn to the meme coin casino, and then you've got the communities around all of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's a dangerous slope for people to kind of slip down, and it's really not just that for the people. It's seeing the institutions embracing these opportunities to gamble your last penny away, or even putting the gambling inside your savings account. It's kind of like almost what I feel like we're moving toward. um, so I just wanted to touch on that a little bit too, because it makes sense why people are feeling like gamble everything away, but um, there are real opportunities inside of this space in particular too, and I would not be surprised if a lot of those meme coins and stuff uh, do go away, while the rest of the space continues to survive, and the people that played around with the meme coins are going to be the gamblers, right?
Do you think AI is you think AI is going to just burst? You think this bubble's going to burst on AI or no? Or you think AI is really, really, really here to stay? Well, in a sense, AI is here to stay, but do you think the
Mhm,
bubble explodes at some point?
mhm, mhm. It's fun to watch Ray Dalio talk about this. I just did a video about this morning, actually, where he says his bubble indicators at like an 80%. There's a lot of wealth in the system, but not a lot of money, right? So the values of all these companies are going up, but their cash and ability to take care of their liabilities is not necessarily all that high. I'm not a stocks expert, right? I don't spend a whole lot of time understanding the financials of a company, but just from a macro perspective, I think one of the things that we have to keep in mind is that the government in the United States and around the world are continuing to support this industry. Are valuations higher than they should be? Yes, but will the bubble pop? I think that's the real question that people are trying to ask, and I don't think that the answer to that is yeah. I don't think so. I think this continues on. When you look at companies, the companies that are going to be the most that benefit the most from this move toward AI are not really new companies per se. It's going to be Google, it's going to be Microsoft, it's going to be the companies that are already there. And these companies have been performing extremely well before the conversation around AI came into the picture. You're talking about super cash heavy businesses. When you look at Apple, when you look at Google, these companies are sitting on like, so in some cases, like over 100, I think, $1 billion of cash. It's like they are borrowing money. They are doing these weird deals with each other to make this stuff happen. But that might be why it works. That's how I look at it. What do you think?
I think that AI will continue to grow. I think that we have now watched The Terminator and iRobot because those were documentaries, a future to what happens when AI gets really intelligent and grows a mind of its own. Right now, it's not really AI. Like
Mhm.
people think it's an upgrade of Clippy. Like when we get into AGI and like we really get into the nitty gritty. I mean, you got Elon talking about next year we're gonna have robots operating on people. Like when we start getting into this territory, I'm telling you, man, I am telling you, the Terminator was it was a documentary. It wasn't a movie.
Mm.
Okay. iRobot, Will Smith is gonna have to come out of retirement and save us. Before you go, and I'd love to bring you back on the show. I gotta do a one-on-one podcast with you. You're a smart cat, Ben.
I appreciate you,
Um,
man.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
I'm
you,
all
I see
down.
when we were on that podcast, I'm like, man, this motherfucker's holding back, man. He wants to say something. He just
It's tough when you got two other people. I don't want to poop on the party, and I'm on someone else's platform. I'm like, man, they're gonna kill us in the comments if I'm just like poo pooing
get
on
it?
Bitcoin.
Like,
But
bro, I go onto anybody's platform and I'll poop on anything. Like, this how I'm feeling. What you want me to say? So I'm not going to let them clip me. Like, because like if you go on to your show, right? You have a successful show, and like you go on and you're talking about, yo, we're in a bear market, okay? This shit is fucked up. And then you come on to somebody else's show and be like, they're gonna clip you. They're
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
clip
yeah,
your
yeah,
ass
yeah,
and,
yeah,
yo, but you're saying this. Now I'm confused. That's why I go into every show. You don't like it, don't invite me.
yeah,
Because I'm gonna say something you don't like. And I'm
yeah,
okay with it. I'm
yeah.
coming into your house. I don't need an invite. I'm opening up the door and I'm sitting on the couch. And I'm taking your sandwich.
Yeah, that's real, man. I'm new to the game, so I'm still figuring myself out as far as doing all of this media stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate that. It's real. It's just a matter of um, right. People are asking you to come on, so bring what you got.
Give me your Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana. Give me your projections by 2026. Where do they stand in terms of numbers? And
Oh, snap.
give me your top three memes.
Speaking on me is sitting on my principles. I will not give any price predictions, but I, if I had to bet a dollar, I'd say down from here, man. By the end of 2026, which is a crazy thing to stake down, put my stake on, but that's what I would say.
And what are your top three memes?
Top three memes,
Yeah,
like meme coins, or what do you mean by
yeah,
that?
meme coins.
Oh, I don't do meme coins, man.
That's it. Because
Yeah.
somebody asked me, ask him about SPX. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that stuff is wild. So my show, Memes and Markets, we talk about not meme coins, we talk about memetics. We talk about culture. We're talking about like what exactly is all of that. And so sometimes, right, when you think about that, meme coins are culture.
Yeah.
And so SPX and all of that is mind blowing to me. We need to talk about that on the pod because I'm like, there is an actual army of people here that have gotten behind this thing that hasn't even existed for more than what, a couple of years. And I am surprised by it. I see it in comments on everything that I'm doing. I'm like, whoa, what is this?
For me personally, the reason why I love memes, I don't get into memes to gamble. And I know a lot of people say, what do you mean by that? Dogecoin, as an example, brought a lot of people into the industry, right? I think this industry has had a hard time explaining itself as to what it does, right? Like you try to talk to your family members. You're like, you got to get Bitcoin. They're like, what's Bitcoin? You explain Bitcoin. They're like, I don't get it. Cool. Pepe. Oh, that cute frog? Yeah, I'll throw a few cents. There's a difference. And once you bring people in to the crypto ecosystem, and we hope that we bring in people into the system, not to dump on them, okay, or to rug pull them, but to actually have them a part of the ecosystem, give them an opportunity to be a part of this change because we're going digital, we're tokenizing shit. I believe memes are just an easier way to onboard people. The regular normie, it's easier, especially if they get into the hands of the right people where they're breaking down, hey, you can buy Bitcoin at a fraction, right? You can buy, because a lot of people don't know that you can buy Bitcoin at a fraction. They're like, oh, I thought I had to buy $90,000, I didn't know it was 500. I can buy $500 at a clip every. So that's why I like memes, and I'm talking about like historical 4chan type of memes. Look, Geico's a meme. I always say this. Anytime you think of Geico, you think of Gecko. So a lot of Fortune 500 companies are represented by memes. Flow's a meme, right? Progressive Flow, she's a meme.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but I appreciate you coming on.
For sure, man.
Guys, tune into the show. The show is Memes and
Markets.
Memes and Markets. Tuesdays and Thursdays, right?
12 p.m. Eastern.
See, I knew it. It's a pleasure.
You got to join us.
Well, you got to invite me. Well, you did invite me, so I can't.
Invited you multiple times now.
I'm gonna DM you. We're gonna go ahead and link up.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man.
I like. See, I don't ever hide talent. Okay, everybody doesn't. Yeah, everybody's scared of like competition. There is no competition. The more people that know crypto, NFTs, and all this stuff, the better our industry becomes. And you're a rising star. Thank you, Keith, for coming on.
That's the attitude, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. And
Much
I appreciate you having me.
See you on the next one.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was Keith D. Go ahead and check him out. Memes and Markets, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, you can go ahead and. I already put his ad into the X thread that we have going on. At 1:15 p.m., we will be joined by. No, I didn't freeze. I did that on purpose. We'll be joined by Adam from OpenSea. We'll go ahead and chat about NFTs. We've been it's 2 days in a row. We're going for 3, 4. This is like NFT week. We need to talk about NFTs. You know why? I have a wallet. Full of NFTs. I'm talking about every collection. They say I don't support women. My second magazine was about women in Web3. And we put every single talented woman into that magazine. I remember women coming at me and saying, why don't you buy my NFT? I bought all those NFTs. My only question is, why don't you stay around? I'm still holding. I unlike, there are a few people I get into battles with. I actually got into a battle at NFT NYC about, somebody said NFTs are dead. I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? NFTs are going to become our personalities. What are you talking about? Just because the market is all going to come back. The last thing people, I'm telling you right now, clip this. The end of the cycle before it ends, people will buy NFTs because most of these cats don't know how to drive a car. So a Ferrari and Lamborghini is useless. They're online chronically. They want to tell you and they want to show you, hey, I just bought a crypto punk for $1.5 million. I'm telling you. And then they're going to make it their personality. How many times did I say, if you buy a Bored Ape or you buy a crypto punk, you're able to network with certain people that you would never be able to network with? Simple. You buy one of these Bored Apes, Mutant Apes, whatever it is, crypto punk, Moonbirds, you get to network with people, multi-million-dollar connections. Maybe you have a business. Get in front of people and do your thing. I think for the artists themselves, I obviously grew up in New York City. I've gone to art galleries. I'm happy for the artists themselves because they have a place to go ahead and showcase their art, and they don't have to be charged 60 to 80% by the art gallery, and then they leave broke. My grandfather was an artist, by the way. Me, not so much. But places like OpenSea, no matter what, you're going to head back to OpenSea and you're going to buy your NFT. It always happens. Speaking of which, it is 1:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know what? We bring on Adam right now. Adam, he's not ready, but we'll bring him on. Adam, what's going on? How's it going?
How you doing, brother?
Very good. I'm happy that we have you on here. I feel like this is NFT week. We've been bringing on some well-known, notable names within the NFT space. So I'm going to hit you. Say that again.
I said, glad to hear it.
I'm glad you're here. All right. What's happening with the NFT space? I'm just going to throw that question at you. What is happening? What are we waiting for to finally see an NFT comeback?
Yeah, that's a fun question. I just got back from the Node Foundation exhibition on CryptoPunks that happened over the weekend. And there were 500-600 people that were flown in from all over the world. And these are people that genuinely care about, collecting. They care about art. They care about digital ownership. They care about culture, community. And the exhibition was absolutely amazing. Matt and John, the founders of Larva Labs, were there walking everybody through it. And you could really see the power of what it means to build something and create something digitally and then show it off in a physical space. You had people there with diffuse control, and people were interacting with, his exhibition, which, of course, also has blockchain components. And so at the end of the day, I think that NFTs are at an interesting point in their trajectory. We went from 2021, where it was largely around, speculation and gambling, if we're being honest with ourselves. And I think now what we're recognizing is that the underlying premise of being able to own something digitally can have really profound implications across industries like, gaming or art or collectibles. And, you look now and, people are ripping Pokemon card packs, on chain. And then they're deciding whether they want to redeem them for the physicals or whether they want to be able to continuously trade them on chain back and forth with people, all over the world. And I think that things like RWAs, things like the physical event that we saw with Node, you look back at what, happened at Art Basel, and the entire world is paying attention to, digital art as a, real, very credible medium. It's something that we're, of course, still extremely excited about at OpenSea. In addition to, of course, us really taking a stance that NFTs are one of many ways that people are going to trade on chain and take ownership on chain. And we've really expanded and evolved our offering and our platform accordingly.
Can you tell me more about, because like OpenSea, listen, that's where I bought 95% of all my NFTs. Can you tell me more about that, the expansion?
Yeah. So, look, depending on, how recently you've been on OpenSea, you might be quite surprised at what you find. And so OpenSea is the world's largest NFT marketplace and has been and hopefully always will be. I would say that now you can go to OpenSea and you can trade major crypto, you can trade meme coins, you can do that across 24 different chains extremely seamlessly. And so you want to trade Solana for ETH, you want to trade ETH for ApeCoin, you want to trade ApeCoin for the latest meme coin that your cousin told you to buy. You can do all that now on OpenSea. You can connect all your wallets together into one consolidated combined portfolio. And so if you've got your Vault wallet with your, CryptoPunk and your Bored Ape on it, and you've got your ETH over here, and you've got your Solana meme coins here, you connect all that together into one profile, and then you can see everything that you own on chain all in one place across 24 chains extremely seamlessly. We're bringing perps to the platform. We will bring other things over time like RWAs, prediction markets to the platform, and OpenSea with its new mobile app that's coming out in just a couple of months. You're going to be able to put all of that in your pocket, and it's going to be a really easy way for anybody to take their first foray into crypto in whatever way they choose to, whether that's major crypto, meme coins, perps, NFTs, or the like. And they can do that without any of the complexity of trying to figure out what app they should be on, what wallet they should be using, or what chain they're on.
Tell me more about the RWAs and prediction markets on OpenSea. That's interesting. That just caught my attention.
Yeah, so there are already a variety of companies that have RWAs on the platform, and so you look at Beezy, where you could go and use their claw machine, and then you get a Pokemon card as a NFT, and it'll show up right up on OpenSea. You could sell it to somebody else, and eventually they can go back to Beezy. They can trade that in, exchange it for the physical card, and it gets mailed right to their doorstep. You can do the same thing with Courtyard as an example. And so this is just a really interesting use case of NFT technology because, let's be honest, let's say that you buy a really rare Pokemon card and then you want to sell it. Well, you can go on eBay and you can do that alongside, any number of other things. You go to a card show, but if you really want to be able to trade that easily, seamlessly on chain, then you can now do that in its NFT form, and whoever wants to can go and actually redeem it. Prediction markets, we haven't made any particular announcements other than to state that it's something that's extremely interesting to us, and in the mindset of a come to a singular place and be able to do anything that you want to be able to do on chain. That's likely something that will be part of OpenSea's future.
Adam, what do you think about, or maybe you guys, has OpenSea contacted any like major Fortune 500 companies to help them put their brand on chain? So my thing would be an example, like Porsche had a hard time. Like I think back at Porsche. Porsche came out with NFTs, they didn't sell out. They hired a company, a Web2 company, which really didn't understand Web3. Is that something that you guys would entertain, reaching out to major Fortune 500 companies and help them have an easier time integrating into our space?
Yeah, look, we have an entire business development team at OpenSea. We talk to a variety of different types of partners regularly, whether that be an artist that's looking to get their, collection on chain, whether that be a major brand inside of our space. You saw what we, did in partnership with Moonbirds and their Burb token just this morning. We work with blockchains. We support 24 different chains, and there's all sorts of interesting things that we do in concert with them. And then, yes, when brands are really interested in doing something with, whether it's NFTs, whether it's with crypto, whether it's with tokens, then we are very much here as partners at OpenSea to talk to them about ways that we might be able to assist them with, whether that's amplification, whether that's technology, and supporting the underlying effort. We actually have a variety of those discussions with some major brands underway right now, but nothing that I can talk about yet.
Adam, do you feel like, so just sticking on the subject real quick, during the NFT boom, when companies did try to come in, do you feel like it would have been better for them to contact somebody like you and OpenSea to deliver their products rather than go with a third party? Because a lot of them failed by going with PR firms that promised that, they would deliver, and really within 24 hours, their assets were at zero.
I would say this. Of course, I would encourage any brand that is thinking about doing anything interesting, exciting on chain with NFTs or crypto. OpenSea could be a very good partner. And we have a lot of people that very deeply understand how to make things successful and how to create real reason to hold them and utility. I would say that when you look back at the brands that were successful versus not successful from the bull market 2021, 2022 era, it were the brands that came in and they didn't just try to capitalize on the fact that this was popular in the moment and they wanted to try to generate revenue from it. They came in and meaningfully participated in the space. And so there were, a number of brands that came in and didn't just try to do a drop and generate a few $1 million and, then exit with some excuse. They came in and they really tried to understand the power of digital ownership and the way that crypto Twitter operates and what people are really looking for in the space. And then they used that to really build a strategy out of it. And I think that now more than ever, any company that wants to come in and says, you know what, it's really important. We just had a, major sports team, for example, and I can't share who, that said, we're really interested in being able to make sure that everybody that attends one of our events, we want to give them an NFT as their ticket stub and give them a way to collect that and to showcase that and then to generate benefits from it. That's a really powerful, really cool use case for an NFT. Can you imagine a QR code on your physical stub and then you scan it and you get to mint that NFT for all time to your wallet? Maybe it's soulbound to your wallet. And then maybe in the future, when there are major events, the people that get first access to those tickets are ones that can actually prove that they were there before. Maybe when there are events at the stadium, maybe when they're wanting to do things that are more digitally oriented with their partners, it's a way to be able to verifiably prove that these people were in fact there at that particular event and we're supporting them at a time when maybe they weren't at the pinnacle of, whatever that sports team is doing. And so I think that that's a really good example of how we can work with major brands and how major brands can harness this kind of technology. And of course, we would be delighted to try to talk to them and work with them on it.
Do you think creators should launch NFTs versus creator coins?
I think it really depends on the type of creator. And so, look, if you're an artist and you really care about getting your art into the world, then I don't know if a, fungible meme coin is necessarily the right medium to do that. We've provided creator tools. A lot of people don't realize this, but you can go to OpenSea's site, click on Studio, and we have a Wix-like easy tool that allows you to launch NFT collections with a huge amount of feature functionality across 24 blockchains. And you can do all of that without being a developer, without understanding a line of code, without having to even partner with an OpenSea. And you can do all of that today if you just want to take your content and your art on chain and be able to do interesting and exciting things with it. I think that there are definitely use cases for coins and tokens. And, you mentioned creator coins and, you look at like what's happening on Base. I think there's a lot of really interesting use cases for that. But I think it really depends on what you're trying to accomplish and what kind of creator you are.
Because I'm like, I see all these creator coins and I'm like thinking, wouldn't it be better if people just made like NFTs, for access to themselves? But it can go both ways. I get it, because everybody, for me, if I had a chance to buy an NFT, if Michael Jordan came out with an NFT collection, I would try to get one of those NFTs, which would allow me access to him or his ecosystem. I try to grab that. With creator coins, I feel like it, there's so much FUD that gets thrown at, it's all due to the market cap. People are just watching market cap and this market cap and market cap. And it's not so much about having access to that said individual or that brand. So that's why I threw out that question.
I think what it comes down to is that there are a variety of different reasons that people want to have ownership on chain and ownership of crypto. And one of those major reasons is people want to gamble and speculate. And if that's what people want to do, then having fungible tokens with a huge amount of liquidity that are tied to, memes and market events can be really exciting and really interesting. If you want genuine utility, like you just mentioned, where, Michael Jordan comes out with an NFT collection and says the top holders are going to get to come and, play basketball in his personal court, then there's all sorts of interesting reasons why people might buy that particular NFT. But I think it comes down to, is it about art? Is it about membership? Is it about ownership? Is it about utility? Is it about speculation, gambling, financial, elements, et cetera? And all of that has a place in what OpenSea does and the reasons people want to have ownership over their crypto and ownership over assets on chain. But not everything is equal and not everything's there for the same reason.
My last question, you just came back from a huge conference. How was, number one, how was the energy there? You said phenomenal for 1 to 10.
I got to say that, it was an 11 at
11,
the
okay.
event. And so I would simply say this, for those that spend a lot of time on crypto Twitter, it can almost sometimes feel a little wearing, almost debilitating.
Yeah.
There's a lot of passion on crypto Twitter, but there's a lot of, visceral comments coming at you from any different number of directions. Sometimes it's easy to forget a little bit about why we're here and why we're passionate about this space and why we're building. When you are surrounded with hundreds of people that traveled across the country for no other reason than a genuine love of the technology and the art and the culture and the community, and everybody is there for that reason, it tends to re-energize you. And I definitely felt that way when I came back this weekend from the CryptoPunks event. I felt that way when I came back from Dazzle and everything that artists like, Xcopy and Jack Butcher and Beeple and everything that they were doing for our space there. I felt that way when I came back from Marfa and, meeting with the Art Blocks team and all the, people that are willing to drive 7 hours out into the desert to, sort of have that same level of vibe. And when you remember that there are thousands of people that are here for reasons that are not purely financial, it tends, as I said, to really re-energize you. And I was very much in that mindset as I came back from the Node event this weekend, and really excited about what this year has in store for us.
It's crazy. You said something there, and it's true. You get stuck in the echo chambers on X, and everything's bad. And I feel like our own people just, I don't know if they purposely do it, but they don't even give these companies a chance to get off their feet. It's just like, relax, calm down, let it all be built out. When do you see, I guess last question then, when do you see the NFT market really returning, where people start jumping back into NFTs and yeah, basically that. When do you see? I'm thinking out loud. I have so many questions to ask you, but I know the time restraints. I'm like, but when do you see the NFT, the whole culture coming back?
Yeah, look, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't like to speculate, especially when it comes to things that are
Based
financial.
off the
But
conference.
yeah, but
Basically,
what I would say is this: that the real ones, the people that are here, that are building and that really care, they never left. And they've been here
Yeah.
the entire time. And the people that were here in 2021 because they just wanted to financially gamble and they never really cared about digital ownership or art or utility, and they were all just masquerading because they wanted to, sell it to the next person in the pyramid. I would say that, whether those people come back or not, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I think that, like a lot of technologies, NFTs are maturing, crypto is maturing. OpenSea has really, as I said, evolved its view of what digital ownership and that really means in the context of crypto. And that's why you can now come to OpenSea and trade major crypto and coins and perps and, things that we probably haven't even thought of yet. And we really want to treat it as one central place for you to come and trade anything and to have digital ownership over anything on chain. But as far as when do NFTs, quote unquote, come back, I don't think NFTs ever left. I think that their popularity will depend a bit on whether people reattach value to what they really represent and whether they care about owning things digitally. But, very much as you said, before I jumped on and I was listening, like, the world is getting more and more digital. People do care about their digital identity. People do want to be able to flex, their wealth as they do with, as you said, Ferraris and Rolex watches and the like. And I think that's one of 100 different value propositions for NFTs. But I do think that people do care about owning things digitally, and they've done that in video games, they've done that in art and collectibles, and I don't think that's going away. I think that will continue to grow over time, and I think that the technology that NFTs represent for digital ownership is not going to be replaced with anything else. The fact is, it makes too much sense. And we just need more and more people to adopt it. And we need to reduce the complexity around getting involved with it. Because right now, there is a lot of complexity. There is a lot of hurdles, going and, getting your wallet and your seed phrase and figuring out what app to use and is it secure, and, then figuring out what chain you're on and do you have the right crypto and how do you bridge that crypto somewhere else. And, we need to abstract away a lot of that complexity in order for the rest of the market to really engage with this tech in the way that we all use it today. But, we've sort of jumped over those hurdles already. And I think OpenSea is going to play a very critical role in enabling that.
We were joined by Adam, who is obviously heading one of the biggest platforms for NFTs out here, OpenSea. Thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, right back at you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. That's Adam. Go check out OpenSea, man. If you're going to go get your NFTs, you go to OpenSea. I don't care. I'm gonna get so much shit for that, but that's where I got all my NFTs. Okay, it's easy. It's easy. They keep build. That's what I keep saying. Like, you have companies. He said it himself, Adam. The people who have been building never left, and we say this about protocols within this space. People have continued to build regardless of the market conditions. A lot of these developers do not care about the market caps. They care about building their assets out. That's it. It's plain and simple. He went to that conference. People are hyped. People are hyped. I speak to people all the time who are big into NFTs. They're hyped. I told you guys about this. I spoke to Volkswagen. I spoke to Audi. They want to get in. They're trying to figure out ways to get into this space. The only reason I bring up Porsche is Porsche is a great brand, legendary brand. I think they came in, rushed the entire process. But like I said, though, I've said this at NFT NYC every single time that I've spoken there, 3 years in a row. What was it, 3-4 years? If I'm a brand, I want to come out with NFTs. Because not only am I bringing my crowd and my audience closer to me, but now I'm expanding. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're building a brand, you want to expand, and I think using NFT tech is the best way to do it. The creator coins, respect. Anybody who has a creator coin out there, much respect to you. But I feel like if you are a brand, it is so much better going the NFT route. If you want to come out with tokens, you can in the future. You can. You can always come out with tokens in the future. Welcome to The Breakdown, episode 656. All right. It's 1:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Am I going political right now? And by the way, I can tell by some of my chats that in terms of memes, by the way, in terms of the memes, I think people aren't really into memes right now. But I believe that memes will be the entry point for a lot of people. Because the first thing people go into are risk assets. I'm serious. Like, the first thing that people are going to go into, they're not going to go into Bitcoin. They're not going to go into Ethereum. They're not going to go into Solana. They're going to go after memes. And that's true. People are they are going to rush into memes because they're looking to make $1 million within 3 days. That's not going to happen with Bitcoin. That's not going to happen with Solana. That's not going to happen with Ethereum. That's not going to happen with any of the altcoins that I'll name out right now. People are looking for the next Dogecoin. People are looking for the next Shiba Inu. People are looking for the next Pepe. That's what people are looking for. But they're at a disadvantage. They are in a, seriously, if you think about it, disadvantage, big time disadvantage. Because you have a lot of people that have been waiting here for a year now, which I believe they've been waiting here. A lot of people came here early. The market expected a tremendous bull run on utilities and memes, and they didn't get it. We did not get it. I think you guys are delusional thinking that we have had a meme run or we have had a fucking altcoin run. Memes didn't run. They weren't ripping. All you had was the same money being transferred off to a different meme and then transferred off to a different meme. No, we didn't have a run. We just had one run. And I'm telling you, there will be a catalyst. There will be a catalyst that comes out of nowhere. It can happen today. It can happen next week. It can happen 3 months from now. But there will be a catalyst that comes out of nowhere and it will jumpstart the market. You will have a lot of people with their tariff checks, with their refund checks, come racing in to this ecosystem. Shout out to TikTok, TikTok watchers, all international. Powered by Midnight, sponsored by Gemini also. Shout out to February. Speaking of prediction markets, February we will have prediction markets on this show and on my podcast. We will integrate prediction markets into the show. That should be a lot of fun. We shall have a lot of fun. I don't view prediction markets as gambling. And some people might say, "What are you, crazy?" No, I'm serious. I don't view prediction markets as gambling. In the sense, like it's not, I don't feel like you're going to the OTB. I feel like prediction markets, you got to be intelligent in order to participate. You got to be intelligent in order to participate in the prediction markets. 100%. You're going to have to study. You're going to have to study the topics before you click on a button. I want you to think about what I just said. You're going to have to actually study this topic if you want to win. You can't just click yes or no and hope and you're going to lose a lot of money. But if you actually study the topic, you have a chance to win. There have been people that have made multi-millions. Millions of dollars have been made. Millions of dollars. Millions of dollars have been made. Now I see my stats are back up on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok. Shout out to, I don't know what's going on with X, but X is treating me right. X is treating me right. What do the markets look like? I haven't even looked at the markets. You see, like I am not one to just sit there and look at the markets all day long. Let's look. God damn. All right. Bitcoin's at 89.5. Ethereum's at 3,000. BNB is at 900. Solana's at 125. Tron's at 29 cents. Doge at 12. Cardano's at 35. Damn. Gentle Storm said this chat is no longer relevant. It's sad. Well, huh? That made me sad. If only if I had feelings. You know, there's a comment here from X where a person says, retail will come here eventually. You guys have been saying that for 2 years. You notice that, right? For 2 years, you guys have been saying retail will come here eventually. Retail's broke. Retail will have money again because under Trump, Trump's all about making sure that the people can go ahead and participate in the economy. That's right. You know, this is what I find funny. This is where I'm going. I'm going political right now. So I'm going political right now. You know what bothers me? We can all acknowledge that, you know, we wish that those 2 tragic deaths didn't happen in Minnesota, right? Regardless. But the liberals and the Democrats, or people who do not like Trump, because there are Republicans that don't like Trump, you guys can acknowledge the young women who have been murdered by criminals who have come to this country illegally. I don't see any actors, any coaches talking about their deaths. Never have. I never seen any talk show hosts talk about their deaths. Not even a mention. So it's like their lives weren't important. Think about that. Their lives weren't important. All these people pretending to cry out here on Q, their lives weren't important. Young girls, 14, 15, 17, killed by illegals, by undocumented individuals. Where was the outcry? I'm not talking about the Republican Party. I'm talking about from the Democrats and the liberals. Where was the outcry? What I remember was when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, there were a bunch of TikTok videos, which I don't understand how TikTok will go ahead and suppress me when I have somebody like Tommy Robinson on here. Can't wait until they suppress. I can't wait until I have Andrew Tate on here with the rest of the gang. I can't wait to see what they do to this account. But you didn't suppress any of those videos where people were celebrating. Whether you agree with Charlie Kirk, that's a different story. You don't have to agree with them, but you were celebrating his death. That's the truth. You didn't have to like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk went to campuses to have conversations. He wasn't putting his beliefs onto anybody else. He was debating. You just didn't like his answers. And that's okay. You don't have to, you can agree to disagree. You don't have to like somebody's takes. But all I saw was celebrations. There's even a report. There was a woman who was at a protest or a parade. I don't know which one it was. She worked for, I think, a Chicago school system. And as people were passing by, she made reference to Charlie Kirk and she made a gesture towards her neck. She's still working for that school system and she's teaching kids. This is somebody who had the audacity to go ahead and point at her neck, make fun of Charlie Kirk's death, and she still has a job. Yesterday, though, or 2 days ago, there was a teacher who posted on her social media, "Go ICE," and she's been put on leave. So one person was out there protesting a teacher who teaches kids, right? Nothing happened to her. A teacher 2 days ago or a day ago who posted "Go ICE," nothing more than that, "Go ICE," showing support for ICE, was put on leave. And the mayor went into a whole spiel about reprogramming. And then everybody, and then you sit here and you wonder, it's really, you guys really have to look at yourselves. You're hypocrites. You don't care for lives. I don't believe it for a second. Because if you really cared about individuals losing their lives, how about the girl, the 24-year-old girl who came here from Ukraine to seek a better life, that was stabbed in the neck by a mentally deranged person who should have been in a mental institution, yet was let out by a liberal judge, which in turn cost this young woman her life. And guess what? Not a single person on that train, or that bus, excuse me, tried to help. They looked the other way. Democrats are funny. Look, here's a liberal. Don't you have a life? Go enjoy, live. Maybe you meant life. Stop changing people. So here's a person who doesn't understand that we too can have a platform. Yeah, we're not violent. Never on my show will you hear me encourage violence. I'm against it. Never on my show will you hear me talking about let's go to war. You won't hear it. Now I care about immigrants. Yeah, I care about immigrants that come into this country legally. Legally. Not illegal immigrants that you guys are protecting. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 656. I don't know what's happening in Uganda, but I'll look into it. I have no idea what's happening. I really don't. I've been so focused on what's happening here in the United States of America that I have yet. I haven't even looked in. I will go ahead and see what's happening there. But it's not like I can do anything. This is the problem, man. At what point do we finally start taking care of us in America? We go ahead and save everybody else, but we can't save ourselves. Like, does any normal individual see what's happening with the Democratic Party? Like, seriously, can any Democrats actually sit back and say, you know what? My party has gone crazy. Can any Democrats out here actually be honest and say, like, the party's gone wild? Like, this is not the party that I supported 10 to 20 years ago. Why can't Democrats just go ahead, take off the glasses, liberals, take off the blinders, and just look and say, you know what? This ain't it. Why is it so hard? What are you fighting? I watched CNN the other night. They called ICE a militant. White supremacist. What? What? This is the rhetoric. This is the rhetoric that is put out there. ICE wasn't, you know what's funny? ICE wasn't a bunch of white supremacists when Obama was sending them out there and clearing out every single illegal immigrant that was in this country. They weren't white supremacists then. By the way, the same guy, hold on one second. Liberals hate Tom Holdman, right? The border czar. Yet, this is the same person you guys celebrated. The same person Obama put a medal on. How crazy is this? Now the guy's evil. All of a sudden, he's doing the same job that he's been doing. Even under Obama, he hasn't changed. Yet he's evil now. What are you going to say? Tom changed? He's doing the same exact thing that he did under Obama. You just hate Trump because Rachel Maddow told you so. She told you to hate Orange Man. Your minds are poisoned, man. Your minds are really fucking poisoned. Obama deports 3 million illegal aliens out of this country. Nothing said. Not a word. It's all. And God bless. I'm with it. Obama did a great job. 3 million out this country. Thank you, Obama. 3 million illegal immigrants were tossed out of this country. Criminals, drug dealers, drug suppliers were tossed out of this country. Thank you, Obama. Same ICE organization that took these 3 million people and tossed them out. I didn't hear you guys go get upset when Obama was putting illegals into cages. Do you want to see that? Because it's true. Trump's not putting them into cages. But Trump is the next coming of Hitler, right? Trump is the next coming of Hitler. Because MSDNC is out there telling you he's the next coming of Hitler. CNN. I got to show you this clip of CNN. Jake Tapper was interviewing some psychopath, and even Jake Tapper, who flip-flops like crazy, he had to go ahead and say, yo, time out. Watch this. Hold on. I got to bring this up. I got to bring this shit up. Hold on. I got to bring this up. Let me find this. Okay, here it is. Hold on. This is when you know. This is when you know they're like, fuck, I can't defend this shit. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Thank you guys for tuning into the breakdown. Let me go ahead and bring this up. All right, here we go.
I understand that, but they take people to Fort Snelling here, which literally was built as a concentration camp, and Alligator Alcatraz, which I think we can all agree is a concentration camp. Not saying they're Dachau. I'm not saying they're putting people in ovens yet, but these are concentration camps.
Okay.
Here's CNN. That's CNN, right? Tapper's interviewing this psychopath. Let me play. Should I play this again? Watch Tapper's reaction. Because you can't, sometimes you can't pay somebody enough. Sometimes you can't pay somebody enough to hide their feelings. Hold on. Oh. Let's go ahead and let's look at this again.
I understand that, but they take people to Fort Snelling here, which literally was built as a concentration camp, and Alligator.
Built as a concentration camp. Built as a concentration camp.
Alcatraz, which I think we can all agree is a concentration camp. Not saying they're Dachau. I'm not saying they're putting people in ovens yet.
Not putting people in ovens yet. Look at his face. This guy, Jamie, is an absolute... This man needs therapy. Mods, get in here. Thank you. Jesus Christ. So here you have a psychopath on the right. And then you have, look at Tapper's face. Tapper doesn't know what to do with himself. It's like, man, I like shitting on Republicans. I like shitting on Trump. But damn, this is, look at his face. Damn, he's like, damn, this is bad. Look.
But these are concentration.
Look. Even Tapper. Look at him. He can't even take it. Tapper couldn't take it. I'm going to play this one more time. These are liberals. These are liberals. This is what they're out here talking crazy. Please show me the concentration camps. Like, what are they talking about? Listen to this shit.
I
don't need to
play it again.
Yeah.
I understand that, but they take people to Fort Snelling here, which literally was built as a concentration camp, and Alligator Alcatraz, which I think we can all agree is a concentration camp. Not saying they're Dachau. I'm not saying they're putting people in ovens yet, but these are concentration camps.
Okay.
Is this normal? Like, look, again, I'm trying to ask Democrats, liberals, Republicans, independents, Rep Party, Green Party. It doesn't matter which your party. Is this normal? Is this fucking normal? Shit, I can't wait to buy a book from his business. That ain't normal. That is not normal. That is not normal. Let's go to this interview here. I'm gonna get Brandon Gill on, man. I like this guy.
We are investigating that. That's one. We are.
Let's go ahead and play this.
That's why we brought Jack Smith in.
This is where he schools Tapper here. Go ahead.
We are investigating that. That's why we brought Jack Smith in. What we have questions about is about a highly partisan investigation whose sole objective was to go after President Trump. This was not an investigation that was following the facts. It was an investigation that was following one man, and that was President Trump. And throughout that entire time, and the toll records are a perfect example of this, Jack Smith was willing to invent novel legal theories to go after his political enemies and walk all over the Constitution. And the American people want answers for that.
Tapper doesn't have an answer for that. I'm not surprised. Who's this? What is this? Crazy. Crazy. Let's look at what other things do we have popping off here? What other things we have popping off here? Go with. Let's look at some. Man, I was trying to find like. I I'm just watching some clips. It's crazy. I think this was so staged. Here, let me share this. I think this was absolutely staged. 100% staged. Let me go ahead and share this. This is 100% staged. I don't believe this for a fucking second.
don't know.
Let's go back to. Let's look at the replay. Let's look at the replay. First of all, I don't mean to laugh. I don't mean to laugh. I really don't mean to laugh. No, look, let me, unlike the liberals, let me say something. Political violence should not be condoned by anybody. Like it has no place. Political violence, that's a no-no. Okay, you don't like somebody, go to the ballot box, go vote. And you can do a lot of this stuff peacefully. You can go online, you can say whatever you want. But political violence has no place. Okay, it has no place. Not in America. We're Americans. We're better than this. We are better than this. But I'm looking at, by the way, so I'm looking at this video here. This guy, no doubt about, bro, it has come to our attention that he sprayed American apple vinegar cider on her. Let's look. But the way like she charges at him, like, what's up, bro? Like, come on.
I don't know.
Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue.
No. Johan, you need to go get checked. No,
We will continue. These fucking assholes are not gonna get away with
you
it.
need to go get checked. No, I don't know what.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know if I believe it. Let's check out Marco Rubio.
They're not here for us on ICE speech in Davos. Here's something the president said in Davos. I'm helping NATO until the last few days when I told them about Iceland, they loved me. They're not here for us on Iceland, that I can tell you. Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland, so Iceland has already cost us a lot of money. President repeatedly mistook Iceland for Greenland, right? We're not mad at Iceland. They haven't cost us any money. The president just mistook the two countries for each other, correct?
Yeah, he meant to say Greenland, but I think we're all familiar with presidents that have verbal stumbles. We've had presidents like that before. Some made a lot more than this one.
Nice try. Thanks. All right. Thank you.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Resign right now! Tim Kaine resign! Oh, the clap back! The clap back! Oh my God! Oh! That hurt me. That hurt me. Oh! Oh my goodness. We gotta play that again. That was crazy.
Speech in Davos. Here's something the president said in Davos. I'm helping NATO until the last few days when I told them about Iceland, they loved me. They're not here for us on Iceland, that I can tell you. Our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland, so Iceland has already cost us a lot of money. President repeatedly mistook Iceland for Greenland, right? We're not mad at Iceland. They haven't cost us any money. The president just mistook the two countries for each other, correct?
Yeah, he meant to say Greenland, but I think we're all familiar with presidents that have verbal stumbles. We've had presidents like that before. Some made a lot more than this one.
Nice try. Thanks. All right. They're not here for us. First tip yesterday because of Iceland. So Iceland is already cost us a lot of money. The president repeatedly mistook Iceland for Greenland, right? We're not mad at Iceland. They-
Oh! I would resign immediately. I would say, "Hey, listen, I can't be here no more. I can't be." Oh my God! His ancestors felt that burn. Yo, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let's look at some more stuff. Mm-hmm. Is this normal? Let's look at this too.
Bow to stern and
Here.
as a labor.
Here's a nurse. Here, you imagine? Here's a nurse. Here's a nurse. Or we should say former nurse because her license got taken away. But is this normal to go ahead and say or pray that something like this were to happen to an individual that happens to be pregnant?
As a labor and delivery nurse, it gives me great joy to wish Caroline Levitt a 4th degree tear. I hope that you fucking rip from bow to stern and never shit normally again, you cunt.
Is that normal? Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj. Exit is asking me, are you your own? Yes, I am my own brand. And if I work with partners, they're obviously on screen. We need to make schools better again. We need to make common sense better again. Great again. Here's Trump on Rosie O'Donnell. Hold on.
The head of Ireland said, famous, that was the Rosie O'Donnell. Remember that? Only Rosie O'Donnell? Ireland, you can keep her. Ireland has done a tremendous. The head of Ireland said, are all your people this way? We don't want that. But Ted Cruz has one thing that I love. If I ever have
Oh my God. Let's look at this exchange between Secretary of State Rubio and Senator Paul. Let's go ahead and look at here. Let's see. Yo, Marco Rubio, I swear to God, I would not want to get into a battle with him.
And let's vote on these things. But I think we're in violation of both the spirit and the law of the Constitution by bombing a capital, blockading a country, and removing elected officials. And we certainly wouldn't tolerate it, nor would I if someone did it to us.
Well, we didn't remove an elected official. We removed someone who was not elected, and it was actually an indicted drug trafficker in the United States. And their system.
Our laws, indicted under our laws. Look, Bolsonaro says that Da Silva is not really the president of Brazil. Our president said Biden wasn't really the president. Hillary Clinton said in 2016 Trump wasn't the president. So you have these arguments, and I agree with you. It probably was, and most likely was, most assuredly was a bad election. He wasn't really elected. But at the same time, if that's our predicate, and you don't have to come to us because it's a drug bust, we're just removing somebody, you can see where it leads to, and it leads to chaos. And that's why we have rules like the Constitution, so we don't get so far out there that presidents can do whatever they want. It is this check and balance. And I would argue for 70 years we've been going the wrong way. It isn't just this president, but it's a debate that I think is worth having. But it is.
I mean, should the president go and tell and then the administration tell Congress? Have you seen the Democrats? Like, these are not the same Democrats that Bill Clinton was riding with. It's not the same Democrats that Bush was dealing with, where you can go ahead and say something. They were scared the shit was going to leak. Anyway, we'll be right back after this commercial break. I injured my shoulder falling. Okay, hold on. He's saying that, who's this guy saying that, oh, the dictator's killing you guys in your country. Got it. Okay, I thought you were talking about Trump, because I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no dictator is going to let you protest without having you thrown into jail. So, you know, people who go ahead and say, oh, dictator, trust me, man. Ain't no dictator is going to let you go out there. Hold on, what is this? President Trump just pummeled Gavin Newsom for causing a national emergency for the fire victims. No. I just want to see. I guess I can play these later. As for crypto, there's really nothing. Honestly, I wish there was more tapes. We will get Tommy on, I promise you. Tommy will be returning next month, I promise. We have more people coming on besides Tommy that share common sense views. So for those who are tuning in right now at 2:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the way, I'm over 21 minutes on the show right now. But I just felt like it was necessary for me to address those topics. I felt like it was necessary. Listen, if I was the president of the United States of America, maybe, just maybe, I would help Uganda. Maybe I would. There's nothing I can do. I mean, I will look into it. I can go ahead and showcase it on my platform, but that's all that I can do. That really is all that I can do. There's so much chaos going on. There's Iran. You know, the people of Iran are uprising, and we need to continue to support them because this might be their chance to free themselves from this awful dictatorship that they have been under. You want to talk about dictatorships, all you have to do is look at Iran. Okay? You want to talk about dictatorships, that's a dictatorship. That's a place where you're killed for saying anything. Jailed, killed, stoned. That's Iran is a place that is ran by a dictator. So when you say that about the United States of America, where you have the freedom to say whatever you want, obviously as long as it doesn't cross the line, and you understand what we're talking about here. Again, crypto, going back to crypto, again, it's the same as yesterday. The total market cap, $3.02 trillion. So it's above $3 trillion. That's where it's hovering right now. $3 trillion, okay? Bitcoin's at 89,300. Ethereum's still at 3,000. Solana is at $125. That's it. There's really nothing more to talk about right now because everything's moving sideways. We don't have the right Clarity Act bill in place, okay? I don't want it to pass because all it does is it helps the banks and it might kill DeFi. So, like, again, there's not a lot of things to talk about in crypto unless you want to go ahead and talk about meme tokens and talking about which ones are about to send, and that's not what I do. So you tuned into the wrong channel. Because I'm not going to be here talking about which ones are going to do a 10,000x. That's not what I do. By the way, Cam Newton came on, I think it was on ESPN. He said Drake May, he compared Drake May to Trent Dilfer. Man, tell me that you're a hater without telling me you're a hater. Holy shit, I'm not even a Pats fan. I'm a Giants fan. And I can acknowledge that Drake is good. And I'm not talking about the singer from Canada. I'm talking about Drake May can sling the ball, man. He can move the ball. He knows how to operate within that system. He's going to be a great quarterback. What is wrong with you? Cam, you crazy, bro. Cam, that was a wild take, Cam. That was an absolutely wild take. Wild take. Wild. Absolutely crazy. Right now, honestly, if we think about crypto right now, we are in a battle. And you don't know it, though. You don't know that we're in a battle. You do not know that we're in a battle here in the crypto ecosystem because you're so blinded from all this fucking talk about, literally, you're blinded by all this talk. Institutions, oh, the institutions are here. The institutions are here. They're not here to save you. You thought the you guys actually thought the institutions were coming here to save you? You thought you were going to dump your bags on the institutions? You actually believed that you were going to outsmart the institutional players that control trillions of dollars? Billions and trillions of dollars are controlled by institutional players. You got $3 to your name and you think you're going to outsmart the institutional players in the banking system? Are you stupid? You guys actually believe these people that were hyping you up on TikTok and on X, on every goddamn fucking social media channel? They were hyping you up saying, oh, we're going to dump our bags on the institutional players. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? You actually thought you're going to outsmart the quants? Motherfuckers, you can't even outsmart your own people. Your own friends telling you to get into shit from Pump.Fun and they're smacking you in the head with their bags. And you think you're going to outsmart institutions? Who gave you such an idea? Unfollow them. I would never be friends with them. If you happen to watch a show where they told you you are going to outsmart the institutional players, you should unfollow, unsubscribe, unnotify yourself from their channels. You got $12. You literally got $12 and you got bags that are down 97% and you're going to be outsmarting the institutions. Somebody pull up the tape of me when the institutions first announced that they are officially here. I was battling 30 people in a fucking room telling me how great it is that institutions are here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We try to run away from the institutions. They're in bed with the politicians. What is wrong with you people? They are sleeping with Jamie Dimon and you're, oh, institutions. I love the institutions. That's why your bags are, that's why your bags looking like trash. It's not because of your favorite influencer. It's not because of your favorite KOL. It's because the institutions put their nutsack on your forehead. Oh, I can't wait. Institutions are coming. This space is going to blow. I can't. I really, honestly, honest to God, I can't with this space. I've been, like, I say this again. I've been doing this for so long. I've tried my best, and I think I've saved a few people. But holy shit, you guys are so stubborn. You don't learn from your lessons. You're stupid. Like, you are dumb as fuck. Like, you 100%. You are not going to make generational wealth. You're going to be oh my God, I can't even speak. I'm so mad. You're going to be generationally poor. Okay? That's what you're going to be. Generationally poor. In a run like this, you know what's crazy? In a run like this, in an ecosystem so young, where you literally, it is being handed to you on a silver platter. You are finding ways to suck. You will absolutely suck. Listen, if the message doesn't apply to you, then let it roll over your shoulder like a duck. If the message does not apply, I'm just laughing. You know, anybody can find anything offensive. You know, it might be two flags, right? Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 656, sponsored by Midnight. Check out Midnight. Really do check out Midnight. Midnight is working their asses off. Charles and the team have been working. Charles is working nonstop, man. And also go check out Gemini. Shout out to Gemini. Watered down a duck's back. Yeah, that's right. I got so frustrated just now. Well, Midnight is about privacy, right? We need privacy. We need privacy. It's true. We need privacy. You need the Moneros. You need the Midnights. You need the Zcash. I mean, like you need. By the way, Gemini came out with a new credit card, the Zcash credit card. Go to Gemini.com/David G to find out more about Gemini's lineup of credit cards: Bitcoin credit card, XRP credit card, Solana credit card, and now Zcash. Go check that out. All issued by WebBank. It is 2:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've gone overtime, but now I hit you with the quote of the day. I'll hit you with the quote of the day. Okay. I just want to thank everybody for making this one of the top shows. One of the top shows on social media. I appreciate it. We're doing a lot of really good stuff behind the scenes. You'll see a lot of more of this stuff in February. I'm excited. Like I'm excited. I'm 100% excited about the things that are being done, and some of the people that I'll be working with. It's exciting, and this show is going to be. Man, I wish I could tell you guys, but this show is going to a different level. It's going to be big. It is going to be big. It's funny. The idea was presented to me about 6 weeks ago. And somebody said, David, I am blown away. I'm not going to give away this thing because there are haters that just pray for my downfall, which I love that too. Karma's a bitch. But and I would never pray for anybody's downfall. I'm not like that. When you really believe in God and you believe in karma, you don't pray for any. You let people do what the fuck they want to do and dig their own hole. I'm not a part of that. But somebody said you should be everywhere, and a lot of things were presented to me, and I'm only smiling because, hey, man, when you work hard, it pays off. When you focus on yourself, it pays off. It does pay off. You keep your circle small, it pays off. Like it 100%. I've been saying this for how long already? Since you guys have been watching me. Keep it small, man. Keep it small. And be selfish. Be absolutely selfish. When it comes to your brand, be selfish. And know what your worth is. 100% know what you're worth. Know what you're worth. And don't get offended if somebody doesn't know your worth. Don't get offended. Don't get offended if somebody doesn't know how much you're worth. Somebody else will understand how much or how valuable you are. Seriously. Let's go to the quote of the day. Nobody hands you the crown. Nobody gives you power, respect, or legacy just because you want it. You earn it in the grind. In the nights, you push through exhaustion. In the mornings, you get up when every part of you wants to quit. The crown belongs to those who outlast the pain and outwork the excuses. It's not pretty, it's not glamorous, it's sweat, blood, sacrifice, and discipline when nobody's watching. It's taking the punches, learning from the losses, and still standing tall when the weak would have folded. That's where leadership is born, not in comfort, but in fire. So don't wait for recognition. Don't wait for someone to tell you you're ready. Leaders don't get crowned. They take their place by force of effort, vision, and resilience. The crown isn't handed over, it's claimed. I hope that people who tune in to me and who have been tuning in to me for a very long time, and if it's your first time tuning in, I hope you appreciate the value that I do bring when I come on to these shows. The podcast coming, there will be a political show coming. You have the breakdown, 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, maybe some pop-up TikTok lives. I'm trying to get that done. I promise. But I hope that I can inspire anybody, just one person. Just inspire one person. I've said this for years now. If I inspire one person, replay my shows every single time. Going back to 2016, my first podcast, I said if I can just inspire one person, I'm good. I'm totally fine. So if you guys tune in and you're just like, hey man, he's doing his thing, I want to do that, go for it. Go for it. You only have one life, man. You only have one life. One life. Take advantage of the opportunities that you have. I bursted onto the scene in 2015, the end of 2015 on X. I bursted onto the scene because I was battling somebody about Bitcoin. And then all of a sudden, my account blew up because people started following me. I didn't understand why. But I kind of understood, okay, I battled somebody. I won a Bitcoin debate. People started following me. Holy shit, everybody loved me. Until a few months down the line, the haters were louder than the actual followers, right? The people that actually liked you, because the people that like you have jobs. The people that don't like you live with their grandmothers and eat chunky soup while watching this show. So once you start to understand what the fuck is going on, then nothing really bothers you. Nothing really bothers you. Nothing. You learn a lot. 100% you learn a lot. The biggest thing that I never lost, or I should say I lost it for a second, but I've always had it. And that was when I bursted onto the scene. I didn't give a fuck. I spoke my mind. I speak my mind still, but I spoke my mind. I continue to speak my mind. Because this is my truth. And it's not to go ahead and ignite anybody. It's not to get on anybody's nerves. I'm not trying to do none of that stuff. I'm not. It's my take on what's happening in current events. That's it. I was scrolling and thought this was a Mandani. No. Mandani don't look this good, and I know how to shovel. Okay? I know how to shovel snow. Mandani looks like he never saw snow in his life. Okay? That's the difference. By the way, I'm older than him, though I look younger. Dude cannot shovel snow for shit. Yeah, he looked like he was allergic to snow. He looked like he was allergic to snow. By the way, I want to give a shout out to TikTok. TikTok continues to grow. TikTok continues to show up every single day for your boy. And I'm not saying that you guys aren't showing up on Twitter, but I'm just saying TikTok out here dominating, okay? When they can see me, when I'm not being suppressed because I'm bringing individuals that might be deemed controversial. I don't want to be a mayor. I don't want to be a representative. I don't want to be a senator. I want to go straight to the Oval Office. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm trying to, you guys think Trump is bad. I'm going to deport everybody. I'm going to deport everybody. Every single body. 42 million people will not be on SNAP programs, okay? The only people that will be on SNAP are people that actually need SNAP. That means that only 5 million people will probably be on a SNAP program. The rest of you motherfuckers are going to work. You're going back to work. No, you're not going to live off of everybody's dime that goes to work. You're going back to work, okay? Trust me. And I'm sitting there. If I'm sitting across Putin, I'm speaking Russian to him. I'm not speaking American. I'm not speaking English. I'm speaking Russian. I'm like, слушай меня, блядь. Putin. Никакой волню. How do you say? Somebody help me with the word war. Война. Тут никакой война больше не будет. Сократи это сейчас. Прямо сейчас. I'm president. I'm putting people to work. I'm putting people to work. Война. Война. Сократи это война. Никому это нахуй не нужно. Окей? Давай. So тут было везде мир. Oh, shit. He's bilingual. That's crazy. He's bilingual. Might start talking Spanish to a motherfucker. Hold on. This is me as president. Hold on. Where's the president? Where is it? I can't find it. Shit. I wanted to find the clip of him. Damn, I can't find it. Anyway. All right, I'm not going to stall you guys out. Once again, thank you very much for tuning into the show. I really do appreciate all you guys. I will make people here within this room moderators. Okay? I just got to figure out how to make people moderators on TikTok. So it's not that I don't want to make some of you guys who show up every day moderators to help tech. It's just that I can't figure it out. Okay? Tech's out here by himself. And Tech knows Russian. He just corrected me when I said whatever. I said war in Russian. Volna. Whatever. Anyway, до свидания, bitches. I'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, January 29th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe I'll do a pop-up today. Maybe I'll do a pop-up stream today. By the way, I love my new background. Red, white, and blue. That's right. I love it. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her